Employee of the Year. Welcome to episode 2 because we decided that we wanted to make one episode and fucking jet.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah, we tried to pull a sneaky on you guys. The old one and done.
But we're here.
We're
to
here.
Stay. My name is Balin, and I am joined by Brendan.
Hello.
And Dan.
Yo.
And this is the Zero Ping podcast, where we kind of talk and bullshit and follow all of the nonsensical going-ons of the tech industry / video game industry / a bunch of fucking dork shit. So, with that being said, I want to get this out of the way first because it hits home for me, hits home for Dan. Brendan, I think that this is something that you're going to be way into also. But EA tweeted out this morning, not EA proper, but Battlefield's Twitter account or X account, tweeted out this morning, tune in tomorrow at 8 a.m. Pacific time for more of the upcoming Battlefield community testing program. So they are, I don't know if they're going to be pushing a public test for this new one, but it seems like they've given very little information on this game, and then all of a sudden came out and was like, oh yeah, we're fucking, you guys want to play this shit now? So
do we have any idea of the setting? Or
modern setting is what they said.
Modern.
They want to go back to the Battlefield 3, Battlefield 4 type, as opposed to like in the past or in the future. But Group General Manager at Battlefield, Byron Bede, said, we're building a connected universe set in the modern day for players filled with Battlefield experiences, all of them built with our unique DNA. I also want to share with you that internally, we've been playing the game nearly daily for well over a year. In addition to internal testing cycles, we are already testing with players, and we plan to introduce a new large-scale community-driven testing program early next year. So I don't know when that quote was said, but early next year would signify February 3rd, I guess. But they posted that shit today about testing program tomorrow. So no information as far as the game goes outside of modern day. And EA announced last year that Dead Space Remake and Star Wars Squadrons studio Motive joined the Battlefield development team, although DICE is solely in charge of multiplayer. So I don't know what the fuck else they're going to be doing.
So that means there's going to be a campaign?
Yeah, there's going to be a campaign in this one.
I'm cool with that.
Yep.
Which, that's a better sign. Like, I played hundreds of hours of 2042, but I knew from the jump when they said, oh, there's no campaign, it's multiplayer only, like, how much effort did you guys put in?
Yeah, never a good sign.
Yeah, see, I've heard people debate about that, whether or not they should focus time and effort on a campaign and just focus solely on multiplayer. But to be honest, it seems like most of the Battlefields that have been really good have had campaigns. It doesn't seem like they really sacrificed one for the other. So, I mean,
yeah, the exceptional Battlefield campaign of cops versus robbers.
I mean, the Bad Company ones were like some of the best they've ever made, and they were like actually kind of campaign focused. So it's like,
those were definitely campaign focused, but they were also games that didn't take themselves too seriously.
Yeah.
That was when Battlefield tried to separate itself from Call of Duty and be like, hey, let's fucking have fun with this shit. Let's blow up these buildings. Let's do a bunch of crazy shit. But over the years, they veered back into that same lane that Call of Duty is, just without the anime titties on your guns and unicorns and shit like that.
Yeah, they were trying to lean into that a little bit in 2042. They were kind of like dipping their toes in it, you know.
They do have a bunch of skins on there. But nothing that's too egregious. Honestly, I think some of the skins on 2042 are fucking sick, but they're all very like futuristic, tactical, military type shit. They're not like, it's not like, oh, play as Lilith from Diablo.
Yeah. Your fucking rifle's a secondary bong type shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I would like to veer away from that in gaming these days.
There's a ball sack hanging from the end of your barrel.
Your foregrip is literal nuts.
COD definitely embraces the like 13-year-old boy like vibe.
But they always did.
Yeah.
It's just worse now because in Modern Warfare 2 you had call signs that were like Bonginator. And you know, they just didn't have skins in the game with a fucking lizard smoking weed like they do now.
There were some clever ones back in like Modern Warfare 2. There was like dishes are done, and then the grassy knoll one, dude. Grassy knoll was clever.
Yeah, but that was the extent that it was though. Was like a calling card, you know.
Yeah, and the minute they added, what was it, dude? In Ghost, man, there was like a weed skin in Ghost, and everybody was like, I feel like that's where the downfall started.
You know, that game I have not good memories of, and I was looking at my hours.
I love Ghost, dude.
I just don't have good memories of it, but I looked at my PS4 time online, and I had 140 hours in that game.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus fuck.
That shit was actually
a lot of
fun.
it.
Yeah.
Just seething and playing it anyway.
Yeah, that goes for most things.
I really liked it. The dynamic map stuff was cool. I don't know, the gunplay felt nice.
I hardly remember that game, to be honest. At that time, like when that shit launched alongside those consoles, and I picked up my PS4, I got Battlefield 4, Call of Duty Ghosts, and Killzone Shadowfall.
Mm-hmm.
And Killzone was my favorite of the three, but that franchise is long dead now.
Yeah, no, I never played Killzone. And then every time that I see something about it, I'm like, yo, this shit looks fun. What is this? And then it's Killzone.
Yeah, those were dope games.
I think I played 2 for a brief time, like over at someone's house. That was on PS3, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure 1 and 2 were on PS3. Maybe even Killzone 3 as well. But Shadowfall was the PS4 one, and I believe that was the last one they made.
I think I did try that one as well, but I honestly didn't really care for him much.
I think it was just a different spin on the FPS genre that at the time really needed something different. But either way, that's neither here nor there, because we'll see what goes on with Battlefield tomorrow.
Yep.
But so is it? Do we know if it's going to be like private codes to get in, or
that? I don't know. I haven't actually.
Do we even know the name of it? Have they even released the name?
It just says Battlefield or Battlefield 6, but it's not technically the 6th Battlefield game.
No.
Well, is it the 6th one since they made Battlefield 1, the like World War alternative timeline?
I mean, I guess it could be, yeah, if it was like following in that like main series.
Yeah. Their like new timeline.
So there's nothing on their website about it.
What was the one after Battlefield 1?
5.
Battlefield 5.
Oh. Christ.
Not to get confused with the fucking naming system.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as Call of Duty's though.
Well,
Call of Duty is pretty straightforward.
They just straight up
Just renamed it.
We're already named that. I mean, I think the most egregious form of that type of naming shit goes easily. The king of that is the Nintendo DS. So you have the DS Lite or DSi, and then you have how many different Nintendo DS names are there?
I have no idea.
I don't remember. I remember there was the Guitar Hero editions of the DSs. I had one of those.
Yeah, I know that there's like a whole bunch of them for no reason.
Switch 2, though, am I right?
Switch 2 is coming out.
Switch 2.
This is crazy. You have Nintendo DS, Nintendo DS Lite, Nintendo DSi, Nintendo DSi XL, Nintendo 3DS, Nintendo 3DS XL, Nintendo 2DS, new Nintendo 3DS, new Nintendo 3DS XL, and new Nintendo 2DS XL.
What the fuck?
Send your grandma to GameStop for a fucking Christmas present and see which one she comes back with.
Whichever one she sees first.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was that announcement for Switch 2. I've seen a lot of feedback on that. Some of it's pretty funny, but what they do, just make it bigger and then made it black.
Yeah.
So
yep, it's bigger and black.
There's
now.
a joke in there somewhere. But I will say I appreciate that they have like the clip-on.
Instead of the slides, man. Yeah. That's gonna be much better.
But the problem is, like, they're moving into 1080p instead of 720.
Oh,
so it's like, fuck, man. You know,
moving on up.
Yeah, we're moving up to 2008 standards.
Yeah.
But honestly, like, I've tried to tell people before, if you get a Switch to play shit like The Witcher or Divinity or any of that, like, you're doing it wrong.
It is not what that's for.
They look like shit on there because that's not what they're made for.
Dude, Diablo 3 didn't even look good on it.
Yeah, just play Mario Party and enjoy yourself. PlayStation has a state of play apparently ready for Valentine's Day week. Let's hope it's longer than the Xbox's like fucking 10-minute thing they had a couple weeks ago. Although I will give them credit, that was pretty good. Xbox, they showed off 4 games, gameplay of 4 games. And that was it. I think they gave Doom got a release date. Oh, I think South of Midnight got a release date also. But Doom, the Dark Ages looks fucking amazing.
So good. It looks so good, dude. The freaking like Doom Gundam thing, bro.
Yeah, the fucking mech. Oh.
Yeah. That's gonna be tight.
I love the Gothic setting. It's like Gothic hell. But once again, they scrapped multiplayer completely from this one. So multiplayer in Doom 2016 was like the quintessential fucking arena shooter. It was like playing Quake or original Halo. It was so good. And then Eternal, they got rid of multiplayer as like a PvP aspect. And more, well, not necessarily as a PvP aspect, but it was like cat and mouse. Like, you either played as the big fucking elite monsters against someone else, and now it's just not even a thing. So that kind of blows. But that South of Midnight game looks interesting. The gameplay the combat I think looks interesting. I know Dan kind of was like iffy about it.
I didn't really think it looked that great.
What was
That Expedition 33 game,
yeah, that
actually seems really cool.
What's that
about? It has something. I think they mentioned the story was like when you reach a certain age, you like everyone that's that age will die.
Yeah.
And it like gets shorter each year.
Yeah.
So they like go into something to like, to reverse that. But it's like a turn-based game, but the turns aren't. It's not like Baldur's Gate where like each person has like their individual turn. It's like they all kind of take their turn at the same time. It's like live.
Okay.
It seems really interesting. Like they're doing something new there.
All right.
And
I'm interested.
The voice acting and stuff like that also seemed pretty high quality.
Yeah, that show was very short. Like, I'm not joking, like 15, 20 minutes. But they showed what they needed to show and got dates out and said, hey, all of this is coming to Game Pass. So.
What was the other one they showed?
Props to them for that. Oh, what was it? Developer Direct is what they called it.
I don't even remember that.
Which, whatever, it's a showcase. And their website runs like shit.
Yay.
Here we go. Doom, South of Midnight. Oh, that was the other one. Ninja Gaiden.
Oh, yeah. Fuck, I have that downloaded, or the remaster download. How the fuck did I forget that?
Yeah, because that was, they announced the reveal of it and we're like, hey, the remake of Ninja Gaiden 2 is out on Game Pass now. So
nice.
It was short, but it was cool for what they had. Expedition 33 and South of Midnight are both April releases.
Okay,
Doom
right around the corner.
May. But you can pre-install Doom right now if you want to take up 100 gigs of your space for the next 4 months for no reason.
Yeah.
But PlayStation's state of play last year was fairly underwhelming. But they are supposed to. So, like last year, they revealed Stellar Blade, Death Stranding 2, and Silent Hill. So maybe we'll see. Silent Hill's already out. Death Stranding 2 for the people that care about that, I suppose.
I know they are remastering another Silent Hill game, and I think they're making a new one as well. They might reveal one of those.
But the big news that's come out for Sony is they are officially shifting away from PS4 games.
Wow.
But it is 2025.
Yeah.
You're still playing a PS4 that's not taken off into orbit at this point.
Yeah. Sounds like a damn 737 spooling up.
You gotta strap that fucker down to the entertainment center as it float away.
That video of that old lady praying, and it's like my neighbor when I try to launch GTA 6 on my PS4, her fucking house explodes.
Christ.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, to the surprise of nobody, I forgot that they did reveal that new Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh yeah.
Sequel, which is supposed to come out this year. So we'll see about that.
Is that on PC?
That's a good question. Although I don't like their approach that they're going with it, because now they're requiring every Sony or every PlayStation Studios game that's on PC is required to have a PSN account. Which I think I have a PSN account. Most people I know do, but I think it's shitty just in the sense of there's countries that you cannot have a PSN account. Like, it's just not there. You can't do it. So these games are not able to be played in those countries.
Yeah.
I think that's the main issue that people have with that.
Yeah, is the country limitations.
Yeah, because they're not as
that is
they're
very
not
annoying.
as like widespread as like Microsoft and stuff, and I don't really understand why. It's not like Sony's a fucking small company. You think they would expand on that, but
Right. You'd figure that'd be one to be everywhere.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, but so we'll be looking forward to State of Play in February. I'll definitely peep that. And then the big Battlefield thing going on tomorrow. I'm anxious to see what goes on with that. Even if it's just like, here's a video of Jack Frags playing Battlefield 6. Give it to me. I'm all for it.
he would be the one.
Yeah. Name drop. Oh, man. There's actually, so since we've been between 3 weeks between that last episode and this episode, which we'll try not to do that.
Yeah.
There's been any number of things that have kind of gotten leaked out or dropped or announced or whatever. But I think the biggest one is BioWare is now down to less than 100 employees.
That's sad.
Oh, shit.
And yeah, EA has fired a bunch of people or relocated them to other studios. And they said they had missed the mark on Veilguard by like 50% as far as sales and everything went. That they were their projection for, obviously turning $1. But yeah, I didn't play Veilguard, but my significant other was playing it for a while there, and I watched her play a little bit of it, and it just didn't catch me.
But yeah, I did not hear much good. Which I don't know. These days, I try not to put too much stock in like YouTube reviews and stuff because a lot of it takes like personal politics into stuff. Which with stuff like that, it's definitely immersion breaking for, I'm trying to play a game. I don't necessarily want real world politics in, but I mean, you can put that stuff in, and as long as you make a good game, like that's fine by me.
I think that's the biggest issue is exactly that, because there's similar aspects of that shit in Baldur's Gate 3, but it is like it totally plays second fiddle to what's going on in the game.
Yeah.
Like, the game is fucking amazing, and if you so choose that you want to go that direction, by all means, you have the ability
absolutely.
to.
Yeah. You're developing the game, man. Put your story in, whatever you want to get your point across with, go for it. But just make a good game around it.
Yeah.
I think it also kind of depends on like the delivery of it. It's like how they implement it. It's like if it's not too on the nose with stuff, you know what I mean? It's like if it has like some elements where people would kind of recognize it, where it's like, oh, that might be a reference to like some shit that happened in real life. It kind of adds like, it could be like comedic, or it could kind of add like an element of like realism to it.
Yeah.
But a lot of games are just too on the nose, where it's like, this is almost like a fucking propaganda piece. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, a forced narrative is not good for anything, regardless of what it is. But with that being said, BioWare has less than 100 employees now, and Dragon Age shit the bed. The last Mass Effect shit the bed. I don't know how much longer those people are going to be around.
That's really sad too, because Mass Effect 3 was one of my fucking favorite games, dude.
Yeah, they did lots of good stuff. Like, I mean, they did KOTOR, which I'm not going to say was a good game, but I mean, it was fun, and it was something I remember fondly. And just to see a company that made games that we all think of fondly just go under always sucks.
Yeah, I'll never forget my first experience with the first Mass Effect on 360. And it was like something I'd never played before. And that it's a shame, but at the same time, these are companies led by EA that We can go on and on with our issues about them.
Struggle to make the same sports game every year this year or these days.
The fucking Black Rock of gaming.
Yeah.
Cross your fucking fingers for Battlefield tomorrow.
Yep. Have hope, but gotta stay realistic.
Another thing I thought was interesting that I saw was New Vegas's lead writer now is re-employed with Obsidian.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
They insist that it's not for a sequel, but
I wouldn't want a New Vegas sequel. I would just like it to be remastered.
Yeah, I don't think there's no reason to make something a sequel whenever it's fine for what it is. Just
you hit the nail on the head and then you moved on.
Yeah. So I personally think, though, because Avowed's already coming out in 2 weeks, that writer, that dude could help a lot with Outer Worlds 2.
Yeah.
Which is also set to release this year. Obsidian is releasing 2 major games in 2025, and that's honestly insane.
Yeah.
But I for one am fucking stoked for Avowed.
Did you watch the secret level Outer Worlds episode?
No, I actually haven't watched any.
I haven't. Oh, for real, man. You should watch it. I think that's one of the only ones I haven't seen. Was the Outer Worlds one. I watched obviously the Warhammer.
Bro, that shit.
Yeah, dude.
They went all out with that.
Yeah. That
you
shit
guys
was
want
so
to
good.
Take the floor and give us an update on what's going on with Space Marine 2.
Oh yeah, Dan, you have more info on that.
Well, they're finally adding a fucking FOV slider.
Yeah.
That's definitely a much needed thing for that game.
I'm actually playing it right now.
Oh, you're playing Space Marine right now?
Yeah.
Nice.
They said Horde mode is on the horizon or coming, or
I think that's in the following update after this one.
Okay. I know they were making some multiplayer changes.
Yeah, they're adding a new PvP mode.
Okay.
And they're adding some maps, and they're also finally adding that the encyclopedia thing, the research center.
That's been
They accidentally leaked.
Yeah.
That's coming with this upcoming patch with the Salamander champion skin.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'm excited to see more champion skins. The Dark Angels champion skin is so good.
Yeah, they're also adding more chapters as well with it.
Nice.
I would imagine it's Salamander successor chapters.
Yeah.
Peep that image I just posted in Discord.
Oh yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's the current season 2. You had the Neolights out. Yeah. Oh yeah, the Raven Guard pack.
Yeah, that'll be the next one.
Coming. Yeah. Raven Guard and Salamanders. And then let's say another chapter we'll receive. And then a couple other chapters. A chapter pack and a champion pack.
So season 3. Okay, I got you. So there's patch 6, the data vault.
Yeah.
The new enemy. And the fucking new difficulty.
Yeah. What yeah, I forget what he said it was called, but yeah.
Absolute. It's
Absolute.
It also comes with cosmetic rewards.
Nice.
So that's cool. We're gonna have to refarm all those again.
Yep.
And then what, 7, patch 7. So is Raven Guard and Salamanders coming with 7?
I think so. Yeah, they're both listed on the same. Or I don't know, they might be Raven Guard might be 6, Salamander might be 7. Prestige weapon PvP.
The biggest thing that they really need to get in here though is that horde mode. I think that'll revitalize the game. They also haven't mentioned any new operations.
Which that's fine. I would take horde mode over a new operation.
Yeah, for sure.
What is Data Vault?
I'm not 100% sure. It's supposed to be like it adds like a new currency, and there's things that you in there that you like research with the research points, but I don't know what it unlocks. I don't even know if they've said what it unlocks. I'm hoping that they'll add battle barge customization.
Yeah, dude, that's what I want. You can get that through mods right now, but yeah, having some just in-house support for it would be cool.
Yeah, like changing up the like chapter for like the whole battle barge. That would be sick as fuck. Because I mean, I think anyone that plays Space Marine 2 is 100% like a fashion snob with their character.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah, dude. Like,
we'd get mad at people for having wrong color schemes and emblems, dude.
Yeah, dude. Like that, you got like a chaos symbol on a fucking Ultramarine's shoulder. Like, get the fuck out of here, bro.
Come on, yeah. What are you doing? You're getting first day on the job.
So I think them adding like something to change up the battle barge would be really, really well received.
Yeah. Again, yeah, it's just immersion breaking. I'm running around as a Templar and surrounded by blueberries.
Yeah.
So cool. So you got some shit to look forward to for Space Marine 2. I think Night Rain had a network test on the 10th.
I am hyped for that.
It'll be fun. I wish there was. I think right now it's just preset classes. I'd like a bit more customization to kind of continue
how I see it is I think that's going to be so many people view Souls games as very unwelcoming. Night Rain is going to be
it's definitely it's going to be a much more cushioned version of the Souls game, which is totally fine because it's going to, it's going to not deter people away from it as much, which I'm in support of.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea to widen your audience for sure.
Did you finish Dark Souls 1 remaster?
No, I'm at Sin's Fortress. I, as someone who did not play Souls games ever, besides Bloodborne, which I never got close to beating that, decided to randomly get Dark Souls 1 remaster. And 30 hours or so in to Sin's Fortress, I rang both the bells. And initially, whenever I did that, I thought, like, well, is this like the story? Like, is you just ring the bells and then the story's done and you just keep going? But it's hard to get a read on that game.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, I've seen people sell like books, like hardback books with the Dark Souls lore in them, and it's like encyclopedias.
Yeah, there's I forget what company it is, but yeah, they've got all kinds of like deep lore books and shit that are pretty cool.
And that's honestly why I wanted to check out Dark Souls, because the lore does really, really, really interest me. But
it's a very deep lore series.
See, I never beat any of them. I played 2 and 3, but I never finished them.
Yeah.
And so I don't really know how good the storytelling is in Dark Souls, or really what the story is. So I mean, like, having a lore book honestly might get me into it more, because I don't know. I mean, how is the 1 remaster actually good? Like, did they do a good job with remastering it?
I never played the original, so I couldn't tell you if the remastering part of it is actually good, but the game plays fine. Like, I think it plays perfectly fine outside of like the occasional camera will get like, it's not necessarily the game's fault as much as it is like if you corner yourself somewhere on accident, you just can't fucking see anything.
Yeah,
like
moves the camera down between your legs.
Yeah. That's a persistent problem, even today.
Yeah.
Other than
Man,
that,
I honestly never thought I would play any of the Souls likes, and then
Yeah.
And then I've got almost 200 hours into Elden Ring now.
And with the new one, the one thing that I thought was the most bizarre fucking concept of that, which I would almost guarantee you they change before it's released, is you can play that game single player, or you can play that game in a trio.
Yeah, man. Me and Darren were talking about that. Like, okay, that's
can't just fucking roll two guys up in there and like you and a buddy. I mean, that would be the biggest thing for that, because fuck anymore. We're all grown adults now. Trying to get several people together to play a game sometimes is not the easiest. Shit. Shout out to LG Warrior and Rifle Shot, or whatever the dudes' names were last night on Halo. Hunter and I were playing fucking. So they have what's it called? I can't remember what the game mode's called. The playlist on Infinite, but it takes away all of the like power ups, sprinting, mantling.
Okay.
It's just Halo at its core.
Yeah.
And it's remastered maps from 2 and 1 and 3. And Hunter and I were playing that shit last night, and I think it's awesome. And we just getting bad teammates until we played with these two dudes. And shout out to those two dudes, LG Warrior and Rifle Shot or Rifle Scope or whatever his name is. We won 8 games in a row to end the night. So
nice.
That was fun. There's your Halo update for the week. For everyone shits on Infinite more than I've ever seen anything get shit on in my life. But I will defend that thing.
Yeah, I love it.
Today.
Besides Concord.
Well,
I don't even think that one's in the race anymore.
Infinite didn't get a studio shutdown, so yeah. But it sucks, and it was like I was kind of just going into the weeds with Halo the other day. Infinite still has between console and PC like an estimated 100,000 players per month, like unique visitors, which is nice because you can queue up into any playlist and get a full lobby. And people are like, well, look at the Steam charts. MCC has got way more on Steam. But if you go into MCC, which I have within the last 6-8 months.
Yeah, dude, it's impossible to find a game.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
I don't know where all those people are at. But unless you queue up to Halo 3, Halo Reach, or Halo 2 Remastered Team Slayer, that is the only time you will find a game.
Yeah.
If you I
tried to get in there and look at for Firefight, man, and it finally put me into a lobby, and it was like just the guy running that server was in there.
Yeah,
it was like,
yeah, it's crazy. It's a little sad, but I mean, we're gonna get another Halo. Hopefully, they learn from their mistakes. But I will say, those fucking images that they released of Halo in Unreal 5. Hopefully by that time, yeah, that's going to be what the next Halo is on Unreal Engine.
All right. Oh yeah, because they're ditching their whole because they were using like a proprietary engine that they kept changing or something.
Yeah,
they redid everything. They rebranded the company. They're not 343 anymore. They're Halo Studios.
Yeah, which I hope they do a little more than just rename,
Yeah, I mean those screenshots of it in Unreal 5, man. If the engine works good and the game is at least solid, it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
See, that's my main concern, though. Is with it being an Unreal 5, is Lumen.
Yeah.
That seems to be kind of like notoriously like kind of a performance killer with
Was it like a
most
lighting
games.
software?
Yeah. Which it looks gorgeous. But so far, pretty much any game that has used it has had performance issues. Like Wukong had issues with that. Rivals had issues with that. Mine was crashing because of it. Fuck, there was another game that had Lumen that was a big issue, but I can't remember what it is right now. Like Unreal just kind of I don't know, man. It's really like a polar on either side. Like it runs great or it runs like total shit. And I think it kind of just really depends on the devs, but
Well, there is, at this point they have to do something to change Halo up to bring people back, because I don't think putting it on PlayStation is going to really make that big of a dramatic difference.
Yeah, you might get a higher player base, but I mean, you have to give them a good game to be excited about.
Right. But speaking of coming to PlayStation, Forza Horizon 5 is coming to PS5 this spring. I've also seen whispers of Gears of War joining them. Halo is still just a rumor, but anything's possible at this point.
Yep.
Microsoft is Xbox is so intent on making money off of their brand, as opposed to selling a plastic box and that being their end all be all financially. Because I don't think there's going to be Xbox for much longer, and in the idea of that you're going to have a console to hook up to a TV, because right now you can go on to fucking Amazon and buy an Amazon Stick remote with
and just like remote play the games. Yeah
for like $80 a year subscription to Game Pass, and a remote that you hook up to your TV, and you can just play shit through the cloud.
Yep. I've been saying that for years, that eventually like there just won't be consoles, it'll all be streaming the game. Like once the internet becomes better and better and more widely available, like fiber is getting more widely available, and
the cloud service is going to be where it's at.
Yeah, like data centers are getting faster. Like consoles are kind of made and sold in a deficit anyway, profit wise.
They lose money on the box to make money on the games.
Yep. It just if they can get it where it's like low latency, I mean, it just would be better. Really, it would be kind of sad though to see like consoles die like that, because that's like what I grew up with. But
but
I mean, I don't know. It's almost like an evolutionary thing, Like it's still the thing you use the console for is still there, and I mean, then you kind of you'd have less restriction on what you can use it on. Because I mean, like I was playing ESO through the cloud service on my iPad at work, man, and I mean, it ran pretty fine.
Yeah, I mean, I could play like through Steam Cloud. I could play Halo on an iPad with an Xbox controller Bluetooth to it, and it was playing perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So not that I think that that's going to be the best way to go about consuming.
But it's doable, and I mean,
but
I mean, I can take my iPad with me anywhere and play PC Game Pass on it.
Right. It's getting better. That cloud gaming, even 5 years ago on Xbox, was so bad.
So bad.
Oh yeah, dude, it was horrible.
Yeah,
it's taken such a dramatic turn.
Even playing it on the console, because like there was what was it, that alien firefight game? You could play it on cloud on your console without having to install it, and it was I couldn't tell you a single thing that was happening on my screen because I mean I could go count the pixels with my fingers.
I tried playing Resident Evil 7 over that, and like, yeah, the quality was really low, and also like the delay was so bad, dude.
It's
like,
so bad.
Like you go to move the camera, and it was like literally like half a second before it would actually move. It's like, bro, I can't play this. Like,
I remember it's funny because whenever I tried to do that cloud shit on Xbox One, before I got a Series X, there was like I don't remember the name of that game, but you were like a mail lady. It's like one of those comfort games. You were a mail lady that was delivering mail. And I was like, well, I'm not going to download this, so I'll try it on the cloud. No. It just wasn't. I mean, you were playing like a full probably 50 milliseconds behind in latency on like 420p.
Yeah.
Although it does make me think like there is like a good argument to be had that like using like a streaming service like that actually could like improve the game quality, which actually could be a good segue into the whole Nvidia debacle.
Yeah.
But you know, with prices of graphics cards being what they are and the performance really kind of seeming to where they're getting a little bottlenecked with what they can push. You know, like if you have like a game that's like insane on graphics or whatever, super high demand, but it can't, you know, asking it to run on a desktop computer for the average consumer is kind of asking a lot. Like Cyberpunk is actually a good example of that. Like if you want to play Cyberpunk on max settings, especially in 4K, that's not where most consumers are at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You have to like build something to do that.
Right.
That's even now, like without frame generation, without DLSS, without FSR,
right.
4K in that game is almost unplayable.
It's like you have to like give it like every advantage possible to make it happen.
Yeah.
But if you have a massive fucking data center that has like, you know, 400 fucking 6090s in it connected with, you know, NVLink and shit like
on the
that.
spine.
Yeah, and fucking fiber internet like streaming that shit to you in like fucking 8K. I mean, you would never get that on a desktop, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Dude, that spine is wild though.
That's what made me think, not to veer too far off the Nvidia thing, we can keep going down that rabbit hole, but DeepSeek, to run that shit locally and not have to go through the Chinese servers, you know, people can view that how they want. You have your own reasoning for why you would or would not want to run through the DeepSeek servers. The fucking Mac Daddy of their AI is like 671 billion on their scale. And someone was saying that if you connected two 4090s inside your PC, it would not be enough to run that.
To run DeepSeek?
To run the top DeepSeek model. You can run like on your average system with like a 4090 or a 7, which the 7900 XTX actually runs it faster, but you're still not going to get anywhere past like the 7 billion mark. Those AI models that are running at like 600 billion units, those are what server rooms are for.
Yeah.
I did watch a video of a guy saying that he was running it on his machine at home, but he had a Threadripper and a
like I bet he did.
Like H800 or H100, whatever that like Nvidia.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's a workload GPU,
but it has like 48 gigs of VRAM.
Yeah, but I think the main case that's intriguing about the DeepSeek thing isn't because it's like, you know, like it's lightweight in terms of like from a business standpoint.
Yeah.
Like we may not be able to get to the point right now where we can run it on a desktop very easy, but if you have like a small business or a moderate sized business, you could basically, run that in your business, customize it to your needs, and it could be like an employee assistant or something like that, or whatever you need it to be, running on your own like intranet or network or whatever. And I think that has a lot of potential.
It's like remarkably easy to run that shit locally too.
Yeah. I think with them making that, it will be, we'll start seeing AI become a lot more widely available on like integrated into apps and stuff.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see where that goes, because that's going to fall in line with the Nvidia shit too. But I think it raises a lot of eyebrows when you're like, well, we have this fucking advanced AI model that we built for $6 million.
Yeah.
And Microsoft is like,
with
well, we just put
$500 million
into ours and it's better.
Yeah, yeah. They also, dude, Microsoft bought Third Mile Island to use one of the reactors to power their like AI system. I was like, what the fuck is what timeline are we in?
Yeah, and a few Chinese dudes with a little bit of money fucking
yeah.
So yeah, I think I don't know. I don't think like I'm kind of down with the DeepSeek thing, surprisingly, because I think it's a different tool for a different job. I think it's really clever on how they did that too. Because from my understanding, it's not running most of its stuff like through the neural network in the same way that like ChatGPT and stuff does. It's not pulling from like a massive database.
Mm-hmm.
From my understanding, they used multiple different AI systems like Chat and Google and stuff like that to train
AI, right?
Yeah, to basically train their AI to mimic what those would respond with. So it's like, you have like a professor at a school that's like, ChatGPT and Google AI and stuff like that. They have like little like assistants basically that work at like the elementary school. And when you ask, that's the elementary school is DeepSeek. And when you ask a question, DeepSeek will take like 4 of the assistants at that school. They're little experts is what they call them, like multiple experts.
Yeah.
On that topic to generate an answer that they think the professor would say.
Yeah. Yeah, and I was watching something, and like as it's like doing that, it'll show you like, okay, this is what I'm thinking about right now. And like it's showing where it's like how it's getting that information.
Yeah, and I think that's really fucking clever.
Yeah.
Well, I saw someone running it a lesser version, not the Mac Daddy version of DeepSeek, running a lesser version of it on their system, and it is instantaneous.
Yeah.
With its answers. Like you go into fucking ChatGPT and there's a couple times where I've messed with it and it took a couple minutes or a couple seconds for it to think out an answer. Whereas like that DeepSeek model, dude, it is the moment you press enter, it's got a prompt.
Yeah, and I think that's because most of the answers that it's going to generate are already kind of pre-generated in a way.
Yeah.
It's not having to go through the entire thing to generate the answer, because it's like they've already had an AI ask that question or something similar to it to generate an answer, and then it has that answer just automatically ready for you. But I think it's really fucking smart that they were able to do it on lesser hardware and they just tweaked the programming and they had other AI improve upon the AI. Like that's the whole fucking idea of the future, right? Like you have AI build an AI and like fucking snowball itself.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so like
it's going to be interesting to follow along with for sure. Because I mean, the fucking sky is the limit with that shit right now.
I think the use case for that is different than the the Microsoft AI. Like they've got a fucking nuclear reactor hooked up. Like they're trying to make something fucking sentient, bro. Like, it's not
literally,
the same thing.
Yeah. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, they already made, like, we've all seen Terminator, man. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Motherfuckers are opening the Upside Down and making Terminator at the same time.
Dude, literally, man. It's just like you're not using that for anything that's going to be, helpful in the long run. It might be cool, but you're approaching that
regional island nuclear reactor AI to answer some fucking Give me a list of podcast names.
Yeah, I was just about to say, like, it's pretty fucking funny that, like, you're asking something that powerful that has a fucking reactor powering it, and you're just asking, like, why is my piss cloudy? Like, what a waste of fucking resources, dude.
Yeah, God. Oh, that covers most of the well, I guess Summer Games Fest is on June 6th if you want to watch Jeff Keighley fucking dance around stage some more. That covers most of this last couple weeks news. Midnight Society is officially shut down, by the way.
Yeah.
It's almost like they needed Dr. Disrespect to succeed.
Yeah.
But
kind of tailcoating.
That's neither here nor there, I suppose.
No.
Good night to the Midnight Society.
Yeah.
But if there's anything else you guys wanted to cover other than that, can wrap her up.
I mean, unless you wanted to dive into the Nvidia stuff.
Yeah, we just kind of grazed over Nvidia, unless you want to talk about that more.
Yeah, I saw one thing that bothered me the most was that I saw a 17 game average on 1440p benchmark, and the 5070 was not on the top 15 cards. And I think that more than anything else bothers me because they're selling that for $550, and for $100 less you can get a 4070 Super that outperforms it.
Yeah, which wasn't it in the
hand
top
over fist. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And I think everything with this 50 series, if anyone's curious, there is a lot of information from any YouTuber that's reliable, whether it's be Jay's 2 Cents or Gamers Nexus. These guys do deep dives on this shit for a reason, and the more and more that I see of these cards is just very disheartening. Outside of like the 5070 is, if you were going from a 4080 to a 5090, by all means. But if you have a 4090 right now, I mean, if you have fuck you money and you don't give a shit, have fun. But realistically, for the average consumer, if you have a 4090, there is quite literally no reason to get a 50 series.
Yeah, it's not going to be, honestly, probably even a noticeable jump. Like the only factor that makes it different is the frame generation. But they're still trying to, like, a lot of people are still reviewing that, and they're still trying to figure out like how exactly that works. And like, like the latency and the animation timing and stuff like that. It's not looking good. It does not look good. It's almost like the multi-frame gen is kind of a failure at the moment, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that's the easiest way to put it, and that's pretty, it's spot on, because when you have, say you get into a Cyberpunk, just as an example, and you're using a 5070, and it runs the game natively maxed out on 1440 at, let's just say it runs it at 55 FPS on average. When you're maxing out MFG to the 4 times thing that they've been advertising, and it's running it at fucking 250 frames, the game is not running at 250 frames. The graphics card is displaying it at 250 frames. So when you go to click, or you go to fucking turn or do anything in that, like, that input latency is going to be so bad. And for certain games, I don't think it's going to be as big of a deal. Like, if GTA 6 comes out this year on PC, say they just surprise drop it, that might be a game where it's not as noticeable. But if you were to go in and play, say you play this new Battlefield in multiplayer, with that shit on, you are at a significant disadvantage.
Yeah.
I think, like with and that's a weird thing they did not explain when they marketed it either, is that the frames are not generated from the engine. They're generated inside the graphics card.
Yeah.
And then layered on top. Yeah, so there's a big desync.
Can't be as accurate as it needs to be, yeah.
And, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to, like, totally shit on it. I think it's, like, a new kind of technology. It kind of reminds me of, like, the 20 series cards when ray tracing and, like, RTX and stuff was kind of, like, new, Like I remember Battlefield 5 was the first game to have like ray traced reflections and stuff like that, and it ran like total dog shit.
Yeah, if you turn DXR in that game on,
like, I would say that ray tracing when it first came out was also kind of a failure. But now it's, it works, and a lot of the time it works pretty well. I think this is also kind of something like that. I think they're definitely going to improve on it. And, they can probably reduce latency, and developers might tweak their game to be, like uncapped, or because like Stalker, for example, doesn't seem like it has that same issue. Like most games in general don't work well with frame gen, but Stalker does, and I think they built it around it.
Stalker is almost required to run frame gen. Whether or not that's just shitty optimization without it is to be determined, I suppose. But that game is not the same without it.
No, but normally, like when you run it in a game, it kind of looks like shit. I think the animation timing and stuff with that game in particular is really well done.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think people are going to tweak it. They'll improve upon it and stuff like that. And it, then over the next couple generations, it might actually be something that's, really good.
Right. And that's kind of where I stand with it, is like, if they're using the 50 series to test out this, then that's fine, but that's an expensive fucking piece of hardware for someone to buy just to test out something that's not even fully fleshed out yet.
And that's where the problem is the card is so fucking expensive, and you're basically paying what, $2,500 or some shit?
Yeah. Something, yeah.
For to kind of be part of a beta test. And that doesn't sit well with me. And also their numbers of them that they have made are so fucking low that it's just like, what are you doing, man? Like, these things are being sold out every single time. Why do you not like prioritize making these?
Yeah, that to me is one thing that I don't like about the way that they went with this fucking launch on just recently, last week or whatever. Micro Center across the United States, across every fucking Micro Center in the United States, had less than 300 5090s.
Yeah.
And they had like several thousand 5080s. And there's absolutely no way that they did that
not intentionally.
Unintentionally. Yeah. Because the fucking demand is there.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I don't know shit about like manufacturing fucking graphics cards and stuff like that, but I have, logically from the average person's point of view, I feel like manufacturing a 5080 and a fucking 5090 is not that goddamn different.
No.
It's not like you have to spend like 3 more days making one fucking 5090 or some shit in comparison. Like, it can't be that different,
Yeah, for it to be that dramatic of a shift in the amount of cards available.
That's lower than the 4090s during COVID and with shortages, dude.
Yeah, that's insane. And honestly, it's the worst part about it is that fucking business model of doing shit like that enhances scalpers.
Yeah,
it enhances that market. When motherfuckers are selling 5090s on eBay for $6,000.
Yep.
Like, it's not good at all from a consumer perspective. Nothing really. I will, like, honest hand to God, I was fucking floored with the announcements when that shit originally dropped. I was like, fuck, I'll buy a 5070 for my significant other. This thing's gonna rock shit. Weeks later, no.
Oh, dude, as soon as he said that, like, I shit you not, I was watching that live, and as soon as he said 5070, 4090 performance, I said out loud, bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no fucking way, dog.
I was watching with you, messaging you, and I was like, there's not a fucking chance, dude.
No.
For $550, you're telling people that just spent $1,500 to go fuck themselves? Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, it's still at the very beginning of their MFG, everything that they want to do. But like, the problem is, where I see it, is you're spending $2,500 on a graphics card, like you said, for something that they're testing out that may not even be complete until the 7090 comes out.
Yep. And I wouldn't even have a problem with that either if the 5090 was marginally more powerful than the 4090. But it's really not. It's not like a huge increase.
A 32% performance increase for a 25% markup is not consumer friendly. When they compare that to the 3090 that had the same MSRP as the 4090, but the 4090 had an 82% performance increase, that is a fucking winning business model. You're like, hey, we're going to sell you for the same price. This new card is going to be almost 100% better than the one that you're using.
Yeah. The jump from 3090 to 4090 was fucking nuts. But
now it's
this to the 50, it's like, I mean, yeah, it's better, but it's like,
it's better, but you're also spending $1,000 more. You're spending $1,000 more for 32% increase.
Yeah. And you also have to think too, like, if you spent $2,000 on the 4090 and you get sell it for like $1,500, you still have to add almost like another $1,000 to get a 5090.
Yeah.
Where
if you can get it.
Yeah, if you can fucking get it.
Yeah.
For the actual price. But like, I have a 4080 Super. If I sell this, I spend $1,200. If I sell this for like $800, I can get a 5080 for like $300.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, you're getting a card that doesn't have does it really have $300 worth of performance increase?
No, but it's a much smaller gap than trying to buy a 5090.
Right. if that was the route you went, I wouldn't blame you. But as far as there's very few exceptions that I've seen so far that I think are acceptable from a consumer standpoint. It's been a mess, to say the least. And AMD is supposed to have their drop next month, which their flagship card is supposed to be like a 4070 Ti Super. So we'll see. I mean, if they want to sell a fucking card that can compete with the 4070 Ti Super for $450, $499, I consider that a win. I don't need that, but that's a, just like Intel making the B5 or B850, whatever the fuck that card is. For $250, you can get 4060 Ti performance. If you can get 4070 Super, or whatever the fuck it is, the 4070 Ti Super performance for $500, then why wouldn't you?
Right.
But that'll,
Another thing that Nvidia did, though, that I think or at least I just found out about, Gaming Nexus made a video on it, is they're having a really hard time tracking the actual performance and timings and stuff of the multi-frame gen, because there's a third-party software, I can't remember the name of it, but that's what's used to kind of track that kind of stuff. Nvidia took that third-party software that's open source, that the whole community uses, and they basically made it their own shit, and then gave none of the information about how it works to anyone else. So that they basically stole the free shit, made it part of their package that supposedly improved upon it, but then didn't tell anyone else how. So it's that's just a fucking dick move, dude.
What do you say in that video, dude? 4 seconds in, he's like, Nvidia's being a dick.
Yeah.
God, what a mess.
You combine that with the fucking all the other shit. It's just come on, dude. These motherfuckers need competition desperately.
Yeah.
AMD or Intel, someone, bro. They gotta fucking. I don't give a shit if Microsoft makes a GPU. Someone's got to do something.
Get something
bro.
in the mix, yeah.
Well, it's AMD taking a step back from making high-end cards so they can put their resources elsewhere, whether it be CPUs or whatever. Sure, but at the same time, it's fucking the consumers over because Nvidia can get away with whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah.
I mean, how much? So that the 5090s just came out. Let's take a pool to take a guess at how much the fucking 6090 is going to cost.
Yeah.
Right.
And unless there is a significant jump, because you're talking about, I know that this is America. We have it's $2,500 in the USA, but it's what $4,300 in Australia.
Yeah.
And
we're not even taking into account import costs in most other countries. Bro. To get a 5090 in the UK or some shit, you're probably gonna spend close to $5,000.
That's for what? For a fucking 32% increase in a frame generation software that's definitely not even close to being done.
Our scalped prices are their normal shit.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah, dude. I didn't even think about that, man. The scalped prices elsewhere.
Oh yeah, you fucking dude! I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah, you're talking about a fucking down payment on a house.
Yeah, let me go get a fucking loan to build my computer, dude.
Yeah,
let's pull out a second mortgage so I can buy a GPU.
They gotta fucking. They can't just get away with it over and over, dude. Someone's got to throw something in the mix to make them have consequences, they gotta AMD or someone they gotta throw in a fucking their own 5090 type shit, but for $1,500. or like 1200. Like
if Intel wants to fucking take that leap, because they're losing, they're not going to catch up in the CPU market, at least not anytime soon. Fucking take all your resources and build a badass GPU. You're selling one for $250. $250 that it performs on the same level as a 4060 Ti. Make something that you can market at MSRP for $1,000. That's like, there's no way they don't have the ability to do so.
Yeah.
Just whether or not they do.
I think they're working their way into it. They're new to the GPU stuff, but they're honestly improving very quickly. Like
that 850 ARC or whatever it is super impressive for the price that it's at. Is pretty crazy.
I know a lot of people shitted on them, but like I was actually really excited to see an Intel graphics card. Like,
for the price point, absolutely.
Yeah, like we need more options and that kind of thing. And I think, like the same goes for Nvidia with CPUs. Like I would be really excited to see an Nvidia CPU.
Yeah,
it's something different.
Yeah.
AMD shouldn't corner the market for CPUs as much as Nvidia shouldn't corner the market for GPUs. More competition is better for the consumer.
Yeah. But I do think that AMD's prices for their CPUs are totally reasonable, though. They're not outlandish.
$479 for a 9800 X3D is like you're talking less than $500 for the most powerful gaming chip in the entire world is pretty fucking good.
Yeah, their only outlandish prices are for their Threadrippers, but I mean,
the Epics.
That's not really for the average person anyway. So
that's an average price point for what that is, and the people that need that.
Yeah. So I mean, like, Nvidia is kind of left out on their own there with the whole price gouging bullshit.
Yeah, they don't have anything to compete with them, so they can just say, "Fuck it." Here's barely a step up from what you have for fucking 25% more cost.
Yeah.
Now, I will be intrigued to see, and also another thing that irritates me, by the way, is the fact that the gap between like the 4080 and the 4090 was so big, but the gap between the 5080 and the 5090 is like even bigger.
Yeah.
It's like, bro,
the 5080 has 16 gigabytes of VRAM, and there's no excuse for that.
Yeah.
No, because normally the 80 series was as good or better than the previous 90 series.
Yeah.
So by their historic model, the 5080 should basically be a 40-fucking-90. But
and it's not
even fucking close, dude.
No, it's not even close, and it's $1,000, and it has 16 gigabytes of VRAM.
Yeah, and that's just
like that shit should have had 24. There should have never been a conversation about that.
Yeah, and I think that hopefully they'll make a 5080 Ti or something like that, or Super Ti Super fucking Extreme, whatever the fuck they do, and close the gap a little bit between that. So you maybe sell it for like, I don't know, like they'll probably sell it for like $1,500 or something like that, knowing them.
That's fine, as long as the price matches the performance of what you're getting.
Yeah, that's really what it boils down to.
Yeah, I mean, I would be fine with it being $1,500 if there was, like a 5080 Ti Super or some shit that like was, basically a 4090 and had the multi-frame gen and all the new shit. I would
I don't see an issue with that. It's got if it's got 24 gigs of VRAM, just like the 4090, it can match performance of it or better for $1,500. That's where you're making a sustainable model for the average consumer. You're not pricing yourselves out of being there for the average person, not the person that's gonna that does not give a shit about blowing their money. The average person that's like, well, I just saved up. Like, should I buy this? And then, yes, that's more money that you make. So
it does make me wonder, like, where they get their sales figures from. Because, I mean, it might seem like a lot of people buy 4090s to where they're all selling out, and it might like seem like that to me because I'm in like groups and stuff that like PC enthusiast groups and shit that like buy that all the time. But I honestly don't think most people have the highest end graphics card, and I think that they think more people are buying it than they are.
Yeah, because scalpers scoop them all. Yeah, they scoop them up. So they think it's selling super well. No, one guy just bought a warehouse full of them.
Right. It's like, oh shit, like like it's like that scene in Wolf of Wall Street when they fucking sell the fucking shoe stock or whatever.
Yeah,
they're like fucking $2 million in fucking 3 hours or whatever the fuck. Like that's like Nvidia every time they launch their new card. It's like, but it's not actual people buying it. It's like like 1,000 people buying like 80% of the fucking stock.
Yeah.
I don't know, when Edward Snowden has to come out of doing whatever he does to call your stuff a piece of shit and say it's F tier performance at S tier prices, man, I think you probably fucked up somewhere.
The guy came out of his stasis pod and walked out of his Faraday cage. Fucking, like he had to say something, dude.
Get on the internet and
bro's got a VPN on his VPN.
Yeah. Said Russia let me have a laptop so that I could get on here and say this.
By the way, this laptop has a 4090 in it. Oh man. Well, we'll start being more consistent with these episodes. We're still kind of getting our feet wet with this. It's something we need to take a little bit more serious, I suppose, but definitely follow us on Twitch, follow us on YouTube, Zero Ping, everything across the board, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Twitch, it's all on there. If there's anything else you guys have, closing arguments, anything you want to say, I was going to plug our sponsors.
Hit the plug. I think that's good.
Cool. Well, whether you were grinding through work, gaming all night, or just need a clean energy boost, W Energy has you covered. No jitters, no crash, just pure focus. Prefer a smooth, bold coffee instead? Cafe Colosso brings rich, premium blends to fuel your day the right way. This dog is in agreement.
Yeah.
Use code all caps Zero Ping ZEROPING for 10% off both brands. You can get 10%. W Energy at w.gg, cafecolazzo.com. Stay sharp, stay energized, and never lag IRL.
Wow, 10%. That's quite a bit. I think somebody told me if you buy $100, that pretty much covers the shipping for your order.
Yeah, I think that's actually a direct.
I think that math checks out. Yeah, direct quote from a W sponsor, I believe.
Check out some of the new flavors. W just got a. I should know this off the top of my head. They just got a new collaboration with some new flavors.
Who is that? I did hear that. I think I forgot to read it though.
They got a collaboration with what's the
solo leveling?
Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah, the solo level collab. Yeah, I heard that. You know, I'd be sipping that Galaxy grenade and that dub sauce.
Ooh, that
dub sauce, dude.
It's different.
It's different. Crack a couple cold one of them bad boys.
Get sauced up.
Right all day.
All right, we'll see you guys soon, and keep it sleazy.
Keep it sleazy.